if you know the power of pranic control, you can do away with the medicines and directly use the prana to heal your body.
And how do we recognize the Guru, that this is our Guru?
Nowadays, the word guru is used very lightly. For any teacher, we can use the word
You
guru.
refer them as Guru.
Yes, but that is not correct. Through meditation, when we are able to raise our consciousness above body consciousness, that means a state of deep meditation, then we touch our soul, our true nature. And that state is the superconscious state. In future, as the civilization becomes more and more spiritual, mankind will realize this, that man can cure his diseases not only by medicines. Mankind will have another tool in their arsenal. They will be able to use their mind and their pranic control techniques to heal themselves.
Swami Ishwarananda Giri ji, welcome to our show Rulingout.
Namaskar.
And thank you so much for spending time today to have this wonderful conversation with us. And I'm really excited. And I am sure that our viewers are also excited to get a lot of knowledge from you.
No, it is my pleasure and privilege to be on this podcast.
So Swamiji, let's start from the beginning.
Yes.
I remember reading that a young boy from a middle class family who was following the path of the dreams of his parents, where they wanted to see the son becoming a famous doctor. And suddenly it was announced that he is going to become a sannyasi and renounce the world that he had known so far. So just take us back in that memory line.
Well, it is true that I joined medical college almost the same month that I embarked on my spiritual journey, shown by my guru Paramahansa Yogananda Ji. But I did not become a sannyasi immediately.
Okay.
So I finished my MBBS and then my post-graduation, and after that I joined. So there was a journey of 8 years from the time I joined the path and the day I entered the ashram as a sannyasi. And over this period of 8 years, my family gradually came to know of my changing priorities, of my new inclination, and that I was more and more interested in spirituality and meditation and in the teachings of my guru, Paramahansa Yogananda Ji. So though it was a little bit of a, shall we say, a disappointment in the beginning, when they came to know that I would now be joining the ashram as a sannyasi, it was not a complete surprise.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is how it was. So what happened was, after I had finished my graduation, that was when this thought came to me that I should now spend my time, give my life to spreading the teachings of my guru, Paramahansa Yogananda Ji, because I knew how much they can benefit an individual. Because I had seen the transformation, the joy, the peace, and a sense of security that those teachings brought in my life. And I was very eager to share that experience and also those teachings which gave me that joy with others. So it was a gradual evolution. It was not a sudden overnight miraculous transformation. After doing my graduation, when I first told my parents that I would now like to pursue a different career.
Support?
Let me say there was no resistance.
Okay.
It would be too much to expect that my parents would happily send me away.
Yes.
But they did try to talk me out of it, which is natural.
Right.
Because you see, the main concern for my parents was, what if this doesn't work out?
Oh.
I mean, suppose I join the ashram and after a few years, I don't like it, then I'm neither here nor there. So then what will happen? So I said, well, nobody knows the future. When my father posed me this question, are you sure that this, I mean, what will happen if tomorrow this doesn't work out? I said, nobody knows the future, but I have to take a path and follow it. Only then I will know. So he saw the reasoning behind it, however lame that reasoning was, but he accepted it. And he said, okay, go ahead. So yeah, so I was very fortunate in that way.
So when you said that you experienced joy that
Yes.
brought you to where you are today,
Yes.
but I remember reading Autobiography of Yogi, and in that also Yoganand Paramahansa Ji has mentioned the joy that you experience through meditation. But is the meditation part only joy?
That is the, see, joy is the predominant reason, if not the main only reason for people to pursue meditation, because um, soon a person understands, and especially if you read Paramahansa Yogananda Ji's book, The Science of Religion, where he very clearly explains that the only reason or the only motive for which any person does anything is to experience happiness. That is, I mean, it is self-evident, isn't it? Nobody does anything to experience pain
Right.
or unhappiness. Whether it be studying hard for the exams, or working on a job, or marrying, or even antisocial activities like robbing others.
Right.
A person thinks that he will get happiness out of it.
Derive joy out of it.
Yeah, and joy out of it. So that is why joy is the you can say the only motive for all human actions. So yes, so the main goal of meditation is to achieve that joy. But the difference is the joy or the temporary happiness we experience when we pursue material goals, the worldly goals, is that happiness is short-lived. It is temporary.
Okay.
And also it is not unalloyed. It is always mixed with so many other things.
Other things
and it is
like?
conditional. Your joy, your happiness may be dependent on the happiness of others.
Right.
For example, if you are a mother, then and you have a child, so sometimes your happiness is dependent upon the happiness of the child. If the child is unhappy, so
You feel
if everything
unhappy.
else in your life is okay, even then you are unhappy, because
Right.
you are emotionally attached to somebody.
Right.
So similarly, your happiness is attached to material possessions. As long as you have those material possessions, you are happy. If you lose them, then you become unhappy.
Okay.
So that happiness is short-lived. But the joy and the happiness you experience in meditation is called unconditional joy. It is not conditioned, because it is causeless. See,
It is causeless.
Causeless, because the joy we get from material things has a cause. I pass an examination, so there is a cause, and I get happiness. Or I meet a person who loves me, so there is a cause, and I'm happy. Or I make money, that's the cause, and I'm happy. So there is always a cause. But meditation, there is no external cause, no external factor that is causing that joy. It is welling up from within. And
Right.
because it is causeless, in Sanskrit we call it ahetuki anand. Hetu, there is no hetu to it. There is no cause to it. Because it is causeless, that joy is unalloyed, and it is very pure, and it doesn't depend on exterior factors. So it remains for a long time.
Right.
That is the difference.
So does that mean that the one who is not walking on the spiritual path, they never get angry because they are always joyful?
Those well, I have seen that in my own life, and I have seen that in the life of many other disciples on this path. Definitely, one of the things the change you find in yourself is a gradual reduction in your anger, in your tendency to get upset, to get irritated. Yes, that is true. And those, of course, who are one with God, who are God realized, they never get angry. They may show anger as a form of discipline to discipline their disciples, but internally they are never ruffled.
Okay.
That is why they're also called sthita pragya. Sthita pragya, you must have heard the word.
Yes.
That means their wisdom, their pragya is always stable. It is never ruffled. Their consciousness is always calm. It is like a calm lake on which no ripples of restlessness can ever appear.
Okay, because I remember in our Hindu scriptures we had Rishi Durvasa, we had Lord Parshuram. They were always angry. They were known for their anger.
Yes,
So
yes.
yes, so
True. But if you, yes, so not to say that I'm trying to justify their behavior, but you see, if we just focus on the external behavior of a saint, we cannot fully understand them always, because each saint has a role to play, and sometimes they assume certain characteristics for a particular reason.
Okay.
So yes, I mean, for example, even within the saints, their persona, their personality is different. For example, in our own line of gurus, Lahari Mahashaji was always in bliss and very humble and very sweet-tempered. We don't hear about Lahari Mahasaya, anyone being scared or frightened of Lahari Mahasaya, I mean, whatever we know. But Swami Shri Yukteswarji, he was a disciplinarian. He was a God-realized guru. But he was very strict, and he could be pretty firm sometimes and very severe when disciplining his disciples. And people would be quite scared of him.
Okay.
But that is a personality he assumed in order to perform a role as a guru.
Right.
So that, and he was a man of wisdom. He was a avatar of wisdom, Jnana avatar. So when the predominant expression of a particular soul is wisdom, then for a person who is not wise, his behavior may appear strict. Though the man of wisdom is actually saying things from the level of wisdom. But for a person who is mired in Maya, it may appear very harsh. But Guruji was a prema avatar. He was an incarnation of love. And his outward expression of his God realization was boundless love. So each saint has a different outward expression.
I have read the book Autobiography of Yogi, and that book has touched the lives of millions of people.
Yes.
And it still does.
Still a bestseller.
Still the bestseller. So in that book, the core theme is the Guru Shishya Parampara. That is the sacred bond between the teacher and the disciple.
Yes.
And in a lot of spiritual path also, the same thing is being followed. So can you just tell us the significance of why Guru Shishya Parampara is important?
Yes. So here we will have to understand how that guru is defined in that parampara.
Okay.
The real Guru Shishya Parampara, or the Guru disciple relationship, which Paramahansa Yogananda Ji talks about, is between a God realized guru and a God seeking disciple. It is not an ordinary teacher. See, nowadays the word guru is used very lightly.
Yes.
For any teacher, any teacher of any subject, we can use the word guru.
Refer them as guru.
Yes, but that is not correct. I mean, in the ultimate sense.
Okay.
So a God realized guru who is also called a Sadguru, his relationship with his disciple is unique. And in fact, for the disciple, such a guru is a form of God. It is, our Guru Paramahansa Yogananda Ji says that the guru is the speaking voice of the silent God. See, for a normal person or a person who has not yet reached that height of realization, for him God is invisible. He is not speaking to you. You don't even know whether he exists or not. So how do you know about the existence of God? Only through the words of the guru. So that is why the guru, a God realized guru, who through his own experience of God, he teaches the disciple, or he conveys his experience of God to the disciple. He becomes the speaking voice of the silent God. So that is the stature given to a Sadguru by a disciple. So, and Paramahansa Yogananda Ji elsewhere says that this relationship between guru and disciple is actually established by God himself. That means when a disciple is ready, then the guru comes into the disciple's life through the grace of God. Okay. It doesn't happen by accident. So when we are ready, then the guru who will lead us to God will come in our life.
And how do we recognize the guru, that this is our guru?
Yes. So it is not easy. What I have found in my own life is, for me, the acceptance and you can say recognition was almost immediate. in the sense the moment I started, Paramahansa Yogananda Ji gave all his teachings in the form of printed lessons. We have a series of lessons called the Lessons in Self-Realization, which we send by mail to all students.
Yes.
So when I came to know about this path, I also applied for the lessons and I started receiving the lessons at home. So these are home study lessons. You don't have to go to an ashram or any center. You can sit at home and receive the lessons by post. So I started receiving those lessons by post and I started reading. And when I started seeing the instructions given and the clarity and the depth of what Yogananji was teaching us, immediately I felt, yes, this is what I was looking for. So his words, his teachings, they spoke to my soul directly. So it was a very easy recognition for me that this is
immediate connection.
this is the path I want to follow.
Right.
So it may happen like that.
Okay.
Sometimes it may not be so immediate. But then if anyone, even if he initially doesn't know whether a particular path is the path destined for him or the best for him, the only way to know is follow that path for a while and see, what it does to your life. And then gradually your own soul, your own heart will tell you whether this person is my guru or not. So it is a soul recognizing the God-realized soul of the guru. So that is the basis of the Guru-Shishya Parampara.
Okay, when you say that the guru is the ultimate, the Sadguru, what we call, so are there different level of consciousness?
Definitely, there are different levels of consciousness. For example, every person experiences at least two or let us say three states of consciousness. One is the waking consciousness, like what we are in now. Then the sleep, the state of sleep, where we are not aware of the body.
Right.
But when even if it is a dreamless sleep, when you get up from the dreamless sleep, you always know you had a nice sleep. So what was that entity which was awake even in deep sleep, which tells us that I had a nice sleep? So there is a level of consciousness of deep sleep. Then there is a state of dreams. So everyone experiences these, the conscious and the subconscious. Both these are very, very common, the state of dreams and sleep. Then the yogic texts and Paramahansa Yogananda Ji in his teachings, he talks about superconsciousness. Superconsciousness is the realm where we are in touch with our soul. See, this essentially we are souls. We are a spark of that infinite God.
Right.
And being a spark of that infinite, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient God, we have those qualities within us. That means we have the faculty of knowing everything, being all powerful, and being simultaneously present everywhere. That is God. And being individualized souls, potentially those qualities are within us. So through meditation, when we are able to raise our consciousness above body consciousness and even above the consciousness of the restless thoughts, that means a state of deep meditation, then we touch our soul, our true nature. And that state is the superconscious state, where we are aware. What is the? How do we know that we are in that state? The most common experience is a state of deep joy, because that is the nature of God. That is the nature of our soul too. You see, that is why the scriptures call God as Satchitananda. That means a state, Sat, Chit and Anand. Sat means existence. Chit means consciousness of that existence. That means you're aware of that existence. And what is the nature of that existence? Anand. That means a state of conscious bliss. That is our true nature. So we experience that in superconsciousness. So a state of deep peace, deep joy, not being aware of the body, or the body becomes very light. So those are some of the features, some of the signs that have touched that superconsciousness. Then he talks even of a higher level of consciousness, where your consciousness does not remain limited to your body, but expands to embrace the whole of creation. So that he calls as Krishna consciousness or Kutastha Chaitanya. So that is another level of consciousness where you are simultaneously aware of everything in the created universe.
Right.
Yes, and then there is one more level above that, which he calls as cosmic consciousness, where you are aware of your own presence. That means your own existence, not only within creation, but even beyond creation.
So now when we say that we all are a part of the consciousness, then why did we get the human birth?
You have asked a question which has, which can take us down a rabbit hole of metaphysical theories. But very shortly,
Yes.
You see, we did not reach the human birth all of a sudden. Our soul progressed through the mineral kingdom, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, several incarnations, and eventually it migrated into the human form. So, and within the human form, that is the form or yoni as we call it, when the soul has the capacity of discrimination.
Of discrimination.
Knowing right from wrong.
Right.
And also the capacity of free thought and free will. And gradually, after a soul takes a human birth, over several thousand incarnations, gradually it begins to understand this is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something higher. And that is when that soul's spiritual journey begins. Until then, that soul is quite happy or going through this roundabout or this whole drama of human existence. Only after several thousand births, it starts thinking, no, there must be something more than this. Who am I? Where did I come from? Where will I go from here? So when these questions start haunting a soul, a person, then he starts searching for answers. So that is how the spiritual journey starts. Now, so to answer your question, we are not directly, we are not coming into the human birth suddenly. There is a whole evolution. But why? Then the question is, why the whole creation?
Right.
Isn't it?
Why the whole creation?
Yeah. So for that, all the Indian scriptures and including all the saints say, we cannot understand the purpose of creation until our consciousness is one with the Creator.
Okay.
Because the whole mystery and the complexity of creation is such that the limited human mind cannot understand. But when consciousness expands and we become one with the infinite, infinite Creator, at that time we understand, yes, this is the reason for the creation. Okay. So Yogananda puts it this way: this world is like a master novel, a novel full of suspense, and the suspense is revealed only on the last page. So until then, it will have to remain a suspense.
Okay.
But again, many times they have tried to give us a hint.
Hint in what way?
The saints have given us a hint as to the purpose.
Right.
Though it is very difficult to sometimes understand, they say this is God's Leela. This is God's play. It is His drama. So don't take it seriously. Don't take it seriously. Just enjoy the drama, just like you enjoy your cinema.
It's like a play.
Yes. But it is not easy for a person who is going through pain and suffering. I mean, if I don't get my food for 2 days, then if you give me the philosophy that this is a drama, I'm not going to accept that because I can feel that hunger in my stomach, isn't it? So, but actually, apparently, one day we realize that yes, this is God's drama, and the purpose of the drama we'll know only when our consciousness becomes one with that of the Creator.
All right. So Yogananda Paramahansa Ji, he was called a Paramahansa.
Yes.
You also mentioned Sadguru. We have rishis, munis. So are these different levels of consciousness?
Usually Muni is a person who has taken the vow of silence, मौन जो रहता है,
अच्छा.
who practices the vow of silence, मौन, he is a Muni. Whereas Rishi is a lifestyle, a person who lives a spiritual life and keeps God as his goal in life. A Rishi can be a householder, a Rishi can be a forest dweller, a Rishi can be a city dweller. It is actually a state of consciousness where God is uppermost in your consciousness. So you can say that. Now, Paramahansa, that is a title that is not easily given, nor should one take it upon himself to call himself a Paramahansa. Actually, the word Paramahansa means Parama means beyond, and Hansa means swan. So the word swan here refers to the soul. Soul, Atma. And Parama means like one who has gone beyond the limitations of his individual existence and is one with the infinite, one with the infinite Lord. So that is what Paramahansa also, means. And Hansa also means the symbology of swan is that mythologically it is said that a swan can, if you give a bowl of water and milk to a swan, apparently the mythological swan can just take the milk out of the water and leave the water. So similarly, a Paramahansa, one who has achieved the highest state, he can live within the material world but still be one with the divine. That means he's only, I mean, even though the material world has both water and milk mixed, he's always experiencing the milk of God consciousness within. So that is the symbology.
Okay.
So that, but this Paramahansa is not usually, but is always given to a person who has achieved the highest level of God realization. That means he is in a state of nirvikalpa samadhi or higher. So nirvikalpa samadhi means that he is always 100% in God consciousness, even during his waking consciousness. He doesn't have to sit for meditation.
Right.
He's always in that state of complete union with God. And it is a title that is given by the guru to a disciple. You cannot give it to yourself. So that is why Yukteswarji, who was the guru of Paramahansa Yogananda Ji, he gave the title to Yogananda Ji in 1935-36 when his disciple, who was a Swami Yogananda until then, returned from America to India. At that time, he conferred the title Paramahansa
to him.
Yeah. So that is how this is done.
So now if we say that our consciousness, when it grows, it expands, and we all start following the spiritual path, do we have to become a sannyasi in order to follow spiritual path?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. That is a calling. That is a particular temperament, you can say. So it's just it's a calling. You want to do this.
Right.
See, in our own line of gurus, Lahari Mahashaya was a householder, but he achieved God realization. And his guru, Mahavatar Babaji, he actually asked Lahari Mahashaya to remain a householder so that he could be an example for the rest of the world that the highest levels of spiritual attainment are possible even while living as a householder.
Okay.
Why do people become sannyasis? Because in general, in the life of a sannyasi, there are less distractions, there is more focus. And for those who have already come to the conclusion that the goal of life is God realization, maybe it is slightly easier in some ways than being a householder.
Okay.
So that is there. So that advantage is there. But at the same time, as a householder, there are some advantages. There is more stability, and shall we say, as a householder, there are certain securities which can again help a person who wants to pursue sadhana. Yeah. Right. So to answer your question, it is not at all essential to become a sannyasi.
So now, being from a medical background, we have seen like nowadays people are trying to integrate the old ancient yogic wisdom
Yes.
with the modern contemporary medicine. So what do you have to say? What do you have to say about it, and how would the integration work?
You see, modern medicine, when you say even today, we have several systems of medicine. The mainstream medicine is allopathy, then you have Ayurveda, you have homeopathy, you have so many other naturopathy, so many different treatment modalities are there. So even within the different treatment modalities, the emphasis is on different aspects, different kinds of treatment. Now, meditation focuses on harnessing the power of your mind. And our scriptures tell us, our yogis tell us, that mind is the creator of the body. Mind creates the body.
Okay.
So, according to yogic science, all illness, all weakness, all infirmity has its root in the mind or in our past karma.
In the
which
past
is
karmas
past
as
karma,
well. Okay.
which are again subconscious impressions stored in our mind. Even our karma is stored as subconscious impressions in our consciousness, which finds an outward manifestation as a strong body or a weak body or a tendency for a particular kind of illness. So they're all stored in our different layers of consciousness.
Okay.
For example, when we talk about karma, what the yogic science tells us is what we are today is the result of our past karma and whatever we had done in this life. So if we have not lived a healthy life in the previous lives, we had unhealthy habits, unhealthy lifestyle, that creates certain karmic seeds which remain in our consciousness and which sprout when we take the next birth. And those karmic seeds may then manifest as a weak body, as a unhealthy body,
In our next
or
birth.
as a healthy body, as a very strong physique. So now, what yoga says is, through the practice of meditation techniques, you can burn all your past bad karma. So, in this lifetime itself, by doing deep practice, you can remove many subtle causes, subtle seeds, which could have led to disease in the future. Not only that, you can also alter the existing patterns,
Of the
existing
current.
karmic patterns. So, if your body is unhealthy now, and you practice meditation, and you practice a yogic lifestyle, a sattvic lifestyle, your unhealthy body will improve. It will become
okay.
healthy. Even chronic diseases can disappear. So they focus more on that aspect of healing. Healing by changing your thoughts, healing by changing your the seeds of past karma, and healing through directing the life current within the body, which is the pranic, which is the prana. Our body is actually being kept alive by a invisible electricity, which the yogis call prana. And the yogis claim that it is actually the prana which does the healing. All the medicines only stimulate that pranic current. If you take medicines from outside, what they are doing is, by some chemical reaction, by some chemical pathway, they are activating certain pranic currents, which are actually causing the healing. So the yogis say that if you know the power of pranic control, you can do away with the medicines and directly use the prana to heal your body. And you can see there are many yogic methods which are already being used, which we're calling pranic healing and all those things.
Okay.
So Yogananda also taught the same, and he said that in future, as the civilization becomes more and more spiritual, mankind will realize this, that man can cure his diseases not only by medicines. I mean, we should not belittle the benefit or the great boon that medicine has brought to humanity. But he said, in addition to that, mankind will have another tool in their arsenal. They will be able to use their mind and their pranic control techniques to heal themselves.
So, Swamiji, thank you so much for the wonderful insights that you have shared with us. And I'm pretty sure that our viewers are going to get a lot of knowledge from you. And if you have any message for the youth of today for meditation, you can please tell them.
Yes, I have a message for the youth. You know, garnered from my own experience, because I came onto the path of meditation when I was a youth. And what I found was this path of meditation gave me a sense of purpose in life, so much joy and peace, so much sense of security and stability that it changed my life. I am a much more happy and contented human being, much more compassionate, and I can say kind-hearted than I was before, less selfish. So all these qualities that I find within myself, I did not have before, and I think not only I think, I know that the reason that I find these qualities in me is because of the grace of my guru, which came to me through the practice of the meditation techniques taught by him, my guru being Paramahansa Yogananda Giri. So what I would tell the youth is, India has a vast spiritual treasure. The tradition of meditation, the Guru Shishya Parampara, is ancient, but it is, though ancient, it is still very relevant. It is timeless. It is relevant in every time, every age, and it is relevant even today. So our youth should take time to explore these techniques of meditation, understand uh, who a Sadguru is and what this Guru Shishya Parampara is, and follow a spiritual path, any spiritual path which they feel that they're attracted to. And I can guarantee you, it will only do good in your life. It will bless your life.
Thank you so much, Swamiji.